This is GCHS-TV News, live from Greenup County High School.
Good afternoon. This is GCHS-TV News. I'm Aaliyah Grayson.
And I'm Haley Howard.
We begin with today's top story as deadly tornadoes have claimed the lives of nearly 24 people overnight in the heart of country music. Tornadoes ripped across Tennessee overnight, shredding at least 40 buildings in the Nashville area and 100 more east of the city as it killed at least 22 people. One twister damaged a 10-mile stretch of Nashville early Tuesday, leaving blown down walls and roofs, snapped power lines, huge broken trees, and city streets in gridlock. Another wiped out much of a subdivision in Putnam County, where the sheriff says more survivors could be trapped in the rubble of their homes. Damaged polling stations have closed, forcing Super Tuesday voters to wait in long lines at other sites. President Donald Trump said he'd visit the area Friday.
In a surprise federal move, Federal Reserve cut its benchmark interest rate by a sizable half percentage point in an effort to support the economy in the face of the spreading coronavirus. Chairman Jerome Powell poses at the risk of economic activity. It was the Fed's first rate cut since last year, whatever is reduced in the key short term are 3 times. It's also the first time the central bank has cut the key rate between policy and meetings since the 2008 financial crisis, and the largest rate cut since then. Stock market averages had fallen sharply, and after the opening bell, swung almost 700 points into positive territory after the Fed announcement.
Millions of voters from Maine to California are headed to the polls on Super Tuesday, a day that's rich with delegates in the battle for the Democratic presidential nomination. The race is shaping up a contest between 2 starkly different visions for the party's future and a November rematch with President Donald Trump. Senator Bernie Sanders, who has energized liberals and young voters, is seeking to pull away from the rest of the field. Former Vice President Joe Biden is hoping to ride a wave of momentum and endorsements to cement himself as the standard bearer for the party's moderate wing.
Checking in on Kentucky news. The Senate bill has okayed a bill to protect the minors' online harassment. It would be a crime in Kentucky to spread the personal information of a minor online with the intent to harass, abuse, or frighten the Senate. The bill was passed by a vote of 30 to 6 on Monday and now goes to the House, where a similar measure died last year. The bill's sponsor has Republican Senator Chris McDaniel. The legislation stems from an interaction between Kentucky and teenager Nick Sandman and the Native American activist that went viral in early 2019. McDaniel says that the Sandman was the target marriage of social media comments and interaction between Washington, D.C. was posted online.
Kentucky has added another location to issue real ID licenses. State officials said Monday that the new Madisonville office will handle widespread licensing requests starting October 1st. The new driver's licenses that comply with the federal travel law will be needed to board domestic flights or enter U.S. military bases. People without a real ID after the date will have to show another form of identification, such as a passport. Officials say the Madisonville office will serve all Kentuckians regardless of where they live. The state previously opened real ID licensing offices in Frankfort, Bowling Green, Paducah, and Somerset.
A West Virginia man has pleaded guilty to orchestrating a scheme that defrauded the Toyota of more than $4.3 million. The Charleston Gazette-Mail cited information filed on the federal court in reporting that Stanley Clark admitted to fraudulently administering repurchasing Love Lexus Toyota in St. Albans. From 2008 to 2015, Toyota offered a buyback program for some Tacoma trucks that rested quickly. Dealerships would get the full refunds, but the private owners would get 150% of what they paid. The information says that Clark admitted to using a dealership in Kentucky to buy the trucks, fraudulently to obtain titles for them and then send them to Toyota.
A federal judge ordered the Attorney General's office to pay the American Civil Liberties Union of Indiana a total of $182,499 on behalf of Planned Parenthood of Indiana and Kentucky for successfully challenging the 2016 genetic abnormality abortion law enacted by now Vice President Mike Pence. The law would have banned abortions sought because of a fetus's genetic abnormalities, genetic diseases, or physical deformities. The Northwest Times reported Indiana has paid more than $3 million to the ACLU in the 2020 following the group's successful challenges to unconstitutional state laws.
On to entertainment news. Spike Lee still has a courtside seat, though the New York Knicks had to tell their superfan to find another way to get there. The Knicks and Lee had a disagreement Monday night over the entrance director could use, but did not eject him from Madison Square Garden during their game against the Houston Rockets. A video circulated online during the game showing Lee getting frustrated and yelling at the Garden security outside an elevator, leading to confusion that he may have been thrown out of the building. However, a Knicks spokesman said that untrue was simply an issue of Lee using the wrong entrance.
Hardball host Chris Matthews says he's retiring from MSNBC. The host opened his show Monday evening by saying he was retiring from the network and apologizing for comments he made to women. Matthews made the announcement at the top of his show, announcing it would be his last. After he was done, the show went into a commercial break, and Matthews did not return. He said compliments on women's appearance that some men, himself included, thought were okay, were never okay.
Coming up, Callie Ramsey will take a look at what's in store for this week's weather. And Ashton Lacey will catch you up on the latest sports news. That's when we return on GCHS-TV News. We have to come back. And this is on Go ahead, you go.
Oh boy.
Welcome back to GCHS-TV News. I'm Haley Howard.
And I'm Aaliyah Grayson.
Let's join Callie Ramsey at a look at this week's weather.
Good evening, everybody. We're taking a look outside of Greenup County High School currently. We have cloudy skies right now, but we saw rain earlier in today. Let's take a look at this evening's weather. So for tonight, we have cloudy skies with a clear overhead with winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour with a low of 36 degrees. Thursday, it's going to be partly to mostly cloudy with a high of 56. Winds light and variable. And Thursday night with a few clouds and chilly with lows of 36 and winds light and variable once again. Let's take a look at the extended forecast for this weekend. So Friday, it's going to be cloudy with a high of 41 and a low of 25. Saturday and Sunday is going to be sunny. It's going to be warming up the further we get into this weekend. With GCHS-TV News, I'm Callie Ramsey.
Yankees general manager Brian Cashman says right fielder Aaron Judge is feeling better, but Judge is having more tests to pinpoint the cause of soreness in the right petroglyph area near the shoulder. Cashman also says it's unrealistic to expect that slugger Giancarlo Stanton will be ready for opening day March 26 at Baltimore due to a strained right calf. Judge experienced renewed discomfort Friday when he took batting practice for the second straight day in an indoor cage. Cashman thinks that Stanton will be back in April. College basketball has reached the final week of the regular season in all of the major conferences. A lot is still left to be decided. While number 6 Kentucky has wrapped up the SEC title and number 8 Seton Hall has earned a share of the Big East, the ACC, Big 12, Big 10, and Pac-12 all will come down to the wire. The Big 10 has a long jam at the top. 6 teams are within 2 games of one another. Japan's Olympic minister says the contract to hold the Tokyo Games only specifies the event to be held during 2020. Seiko Hashimoto's response to a question in the upper house of the parliament implies the Olympics should be held later in the year and would not have to start on July 24th. Hashimoto told Parliament the IOC has the right to cancel the games only if they are not held during 2020. She says this can be interpreted to mean the games can be postponed as long as they are held during the calendar year. IOC officials and Tokyo organizers have repeatedly said they expect the Olympics to open on schedule. More from GCHS-TV News when we return in just a minute.
Finally today on GCHS News.
I knew that Taco Bell was there with me from all the hard times at 3 a.m. When my girlfriend broke up with me till the lunch at 1 p.m. I know he was always there for me. But I want you guys to remember that Taco Bell is not gone. It is not forgotten, but it lives here in our house.
Penn State University students and community members gathered at the site of a shuttered Taco Bell for a vigil mourning the loss of the fast food restaurant. The Taco Bell location on East College Avenue in State College unexpectedly closed its doors permanently last week, leading Penn State student Prashay Patel to organize the Sunday night vigil. The vigil, which was advertised on Facebook, brought out dozens of attendees, including former employees, to pay their respects to the closed eatery. Taco Bell was our home away from home and added spice to our life, Patel, who attended the vigil in a taco costume, told the assembled crowd. The nearest Taco Bell to the closed location is about 2 miles away. That will do it for GCHS-TV News.
Have a great afternoon, everyone.